Welcome to Reality Gaze. We're here.
We have guests.
This is the beginning of, what do we call it? Poodle Menage?
Oh, this is the beginning of MAYnage à Trois, our month of collaborations. But there's 4 people here, so MAYnage plus 1 à Trois.
Our math isn't that good.
MAYnage à quatre.
A quattro. A trage.
Yes, there's 4 people here, and 2 of them are real women, so nobody's fucking anybody here.
Although both of these are like drag versions of us.
It's true.
True. And my name is Shawn.
And your name is
It does
Shawn.
sound like my balls just dropped, but I am a lady.
I do feel like we're sitting here with drag versions.
I have a full beard now instead of balls. So,
From the podcast Trailer Park Diaries and just longtime friends, Shawn Pelofsky, Vicki. You want me to say Babcock?
yes,
because I said
do.
your name was Babcock.
He thought
'Cause
my
what
name
else
was
is new?
Babcock, and I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Instead of keeping my real stupid name of Barbolak, Babcock, I would be like famous now.
Yes, Vicki Barbolak from America's Got Talent.
AGT.
AGT.
I thought you were going to say from a trailer park in Oceanside.
Well, that too. That too.
We're going to talk stories
We're gonna talk about that.
AGT later, Howie Mandel stories. I'm sure they've fucked.
did.
So,
Anyway,
and-
I always say this on the podcast. So Shawn, just so people can tell, because it's audio, Shawn she's not a man. Shawn, you're the one with the low voice.
No, I'm not a man. I've
I
got
love it that that's a disclaimer.
Giant boobies. I'm a lady.
She's a super
She does
beautiful
have
girl.
giant boobies and nice hips.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just think of like a younger, shorter Barbara Streisand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Who just
Okay.
turned 80.
Oh, and poor.
Oh, very poor.
And from slightly less entitled.
And
right.
from Oklahoma.
Like,
Right. Barbara Streisand from Oklahoma.
yeah.
Wow.
That's it. You nailed it.
Shawn, have you been to Arbuckle Wilderness?
The answer to that, Matt Marr, is yes. Who hasn't?
You can validate
I
all my
swear to
stories
God.
are real.
Vicky, he tells me stories, and Shawn, he tells me stories about Arbuckle Wilderness. I'm like, this is a made-up place.
No.
Because I don't understand the logic or the rules that govern this state.
It's Oklahoma. There are no rules.
There are no rules.
We are home of the Tiger King. We do not screw around.
We do not screw
They
around.
literally got their land by beating everyone in a foot race.
Basically,
That's how they did it.
Did you,
The land run.
Maddie? Did you used to reenact that?
Yes.
Yes, in grade school.
It was like every, I think it was ironically the same day as the Oklahoma City bombing, April 19th.
Well, of course. Why not? Why not? And how about we do it as the same day as the Tulsa Massacre?
Yeah.
You gotta love Oklahoma. They're like, screw it. Just combine them all in one day, okay?
In one day.
And then afterwards, we'll go to Taco Bueno.
Taco Bueno.
Taco Bueno. Oh,
God.
So anyway, y'all,
It's
get ready.
It's like saying whatever job and career you get in life is going to be assigned by a foot race and how fast you can get there.
Pretty much.
It's amazing.
But it was total cultural appropriation. Like,
Yes.
You had a choice, and this is grade school. They would reenact the land run in our grade school, and you took that whole day to dedicate it to the land run and
Yeah.
look for your land, and you dressed up as Native Americans.
But we didn't say Native Americans.
No,
we
we
said,
didn't.
We said Indians.
Indians.
Or Indians.
right?
Yes.
And or pioneers. You had to like dress
Pioneers,
up. Yeah,
yeah.
everyone
One or
looked
the
like
other.
Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your mom made you a sack lunch. Like everybody got a sack lunch that day.
Good God.
It was very
This
exciting.
sounds awful.
Yeah, my matzah wouldn't even fit into it. It was really like, it was uncomfortable. Uncomfortable.
Now, Vicki, are you originally from California?
I was born in Freeport, Illinois, but we moved when I was 1 because I had pneumonia. So the doctor said, move to a
Sorry.
warmer climate because your baby's so sick.
Oh, really?
So then
Oh,
my
put your
parents-
mic up. It's like
so
a
my
dick
parents think,
right there.
they-
Oh, yeah.
And
suck
thank
that,
you.
Suck that mic.
I can't help but look at that big dick book in front of you on your coffee
I
table.
do have
but
a big penis
I can't
book, yeah.
get it off my eyes. But yeah, so I've been in California for my entire 64 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk. Shawn is a big. We
Woman.
retweet you. No, we retweet you and like re-Instagram you a lot because you talk a lot about 90. If people are wanting
You're
to
a
see like
fan.
funny memes on 90
You're
Day
a fan.
Fiance, follow Shawn on Instagram
Yeah,
because
I love
you're
it.
always.
I love it.
So we're going to talk about that, but we're also in the second half of this. We're going to talk about America's Got Talent, and
they have a new podcast together.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the new podcast. So we're lots to cover.
Trailer Park Diaries.
Oh, I love it. Why don't we have Poodle as our announcer?
Yes.
What are we
Sounds
doing?
really
I'll do it in a very British way, very Vincent Price.
But
now,
like it.
presenting
Especially for
Trailer
next
Park
season.
Diaries.
Oh, I like it.
And y'all know each other real quick before we jump in, but y'all know each other how from stand? Because I know both of you. I know Shawn from stand up, and then Vicki and I did a stand up show years ago in Palm Springs. So
Yeah.
how do y'all know?
Well,
was it stand
And
up?
I met you
Comedy
both in the
store.
alley
Yeah.
behind
That's
here
true.
just
Yeah,
now.
we know
Exactly.
Jake from-
Bend over.
You know,
Vicky,
I bought
Vicky and
I bought some chlamydia cure from Jake that didn't work, by the way. So if you guys are itching, don't call him. It doesn't work.
You know, Vicky and I are, we come from different worlds, but yet we're both messy. So we're kind of like a modern day Ab Fab.
I call it ab flab.
if you will.
That's
Yes,
our
Vicky,
audience.
Yes. You want to tell the story?
So we met at the belly room of the Comedy Store, which, back in the day we weren't regulars, and you're so grateful to be at the Comedy Store. So a friend of ours invited us to her show, and she said she'd buy us dinner if we did her show. We did her show, but she didn't buy us dinner. We went to a restaurant and waited for her, and she never came. But we got to know each other, and I saw Shanika for the first. I call her Shanika for the
She calls
first
me
time,
Shanika.
and I was so happy because there was not that many women working back then.
Yeah.
and she was so funny and made my heart so happy. And then
and I felt the same way when I saw Vicky go on stage. I was like, who is this woman who just has this killer point of view? She's just like slinging heat with one-liners. And I was like, how come I've never seen her?
So
She's such a character.
we had dinner, and then she's so little. And
I
like,
love that Vicky calls me little.
And I said,
I'm on
let's-
Weight Watchers,
let's
Vicky.
Split the meal. Let's
Oprah
split a
would
meal.
beg to differ.
But you're so smart.
Now
Let's
we
split
say
a meal. And she
WW.
goes, no, and she just attacked me. And then but we became friends, and ever since.
I love that your whole relationship was based on a lie. That someone
Yeah.
said they would buy you food.
She didn't.
Yeah.
And
She
they
didn't.
lied.
She didn't even show
and
up.
you
She didn't even
became
show up.
friends off of that.
Yeah.
Well, we're really appreciative of that.
You're both just so funny, and also I know both of your comedy well. So hilariously disgusting, and also sometimes two of the nicest people I've ever met in stand-up comedy.
well-
No, I mean that. So but I try to be nice when I did stand-up, and I'm also disgusting. So I
Yes.
feel like that's what we come
Well,
from.
we're both bottoms. I mean, we really want to get into that. I was telling Vicky,
I haven't been a top in so long.
Just taking all comers bottoms. Oh, yeah.
I just performed at a bear convention in Phoenix, and it's called Fur Fest. PHUR. No, I can't make up this shit.
Phoenix Fur Fest.
PHUR.
I love the way they lean into it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're just going for
And
it.
I brought my Aunt Judy and Uncle Paul live in Phoenix. And they've been to Fur Fest before with me. And they love going. Aunt Judy, they're my Uncle Paul's gonna be 90.
Oh,
my
wow.
Aunt Judy, she would never want me to say her age.
Yes.
That's will
but
not.
she's fabulous and ageless. And I take them to the show. And like the minute one, I said, I'd like to welcome you guys to the 2022 Fur Fest Super Spreader. And then I said, when I say super spreader, I'm not talking about COVID. I'm talking to you, pig bottoms. And they all erupted. And then I go, Aunt Judy, do you want to know what a pig bottom is? And Aunt Judy shook her head, yes. And all the guys were like, no, no, Aunt
Shanika,
Judy.
my God.
I have to say, you told me the story when we're driving over here because I love your Aunt Judy. I personally don't know what a pig bottom is, and I speak for possibly the people
Vicky.
in the audience.
Did this
What is
become a gay
exactly pig?
educational
I'd like to know
podcast?
what a pig bottom is, and I think
Well,
some of the other
Vicky.
viewers would like to know as well. What is a pig bottom?
I'll take this.
Go ahead.
I'll handle this one.
Thank you, Jake.
Well, Vicky, it is
Do it in a British accent.
a pig bottom is perhaps an occasion best reserved for a man who prefers to have people coming in and out of his anus in a repeated manner. Doesn't matter how many, it will take any, and he may and he may be inclined to squeal like a pig when
God.
needed to.
That's why they call it a
Now,
pig bottom.
well, it just means he gets down in the dirty. He likes semen. He likes fluids.
Lots of it.
Everything.
And he's not very selective.
Okay.
And he's not very selective. That's the most important
Okay.
part of a pig bottom.
The hotel room door stays open.
Open.
I got it.
Yeah.
That would be our pig bottom room. Thank God. You know what, you guys, I mean, you're such gay savvy's coolness. That I appreciate you looking down on the rest of us, toddlers of the gay world, and explaining the pig bottom theory.
You're
Thank
welcome.
Thank you. It is a very important community.
It is a very important community.
But I just love it that everyone's sitting there, and the best thing about bear festivals, and Katherine Griffin says this too. She's like, everyone's so polite here. Everyone is lovely.
Lovely.
But in the bedroom, all politeness is off.
Yeah.
I mean, but Shawn, you kind of are a gay icon.
Yes.
Hardly
No,
an icon.
a lot of gay
Matt.
people across the country know
Come
you.
on.
No,
So
really.
nice.
Y'all, she's got
Not
this.
true.
She's got
She's
a
been on
Streisand. She's got a
thousands of gay
Streisand look to
cruises.
her.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not just a comedy. Like,
No.
you're fucking like marching in parades. You're going
Right.
to protests. Like, you're,
She walks the walk.
yeah, you're like, you have, I know you because I've followed you on social media. I've seen you. I've seen videos. Like, you go to bat for, and you have for years for your gay friends when a lot of people, when it wasn't cool.
And individually, she helps so many young people reach out to her that people know, and she's always like giving of herself, making sure that everyone's comfortable, and she's very. I mean, she's
Yeah.
not,
Oh my gosh, keep going. I'm
just gonna
definitely
jerk off
going
on your
into the
tits
good
right
book.
now.
She charges,
Thank
she charges
you.
like $10 for a
Yeah,
phone
for a reach
She's
around.
making
A reach around. Which you know what? I thank you for that, but again, it's not hard to be an advocate for the LGBTQ plus community. I mean, you guys make it really easy because you understand, and the reason why I'm so immersed into the community is because really my following is mostly gay men. But the whole community just has I find for the most part, especially gay men, have a great sense of humor like you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can kind of get away with anything. And
We want
can be
you.
a
We want
free
you to get away
spirit.
with
Right,
even
exactly.
crazier shit.
So many.
When you go through shit, you got to learn to laugh at it. I think
Amen.
we all
That's
can agree with
one
that.
of the reasons why the gay community has. You have to learn to laugh. You have to learn to have a sense of humor, so you can laugh at the things that are painful.
Right.
So then things become doable.
And right, and also from being outside, and like I was a fat outside kid, and all my friends, my only friends in my 3 different high schools I went to were gay guys, and in my as a stand up for me too. I mean the little gay work that I got was some of the only paid work that I got for so many years, and it's
Like
Me
gay
too.
work? Do you mean
My gay-
bottoming?
my- my gay
Bottoming?
work was paid too.
I was a pig bottom.
yeah.
I didn't know it at the
You
time.
didn't
I
know
didn't know
that.
the word.
And now you
I would
know
just lay
you were
there
a
and-
pig bottom
and
for
it turns out that
years.
I looked so much like a dude that when they turned me over, they were so disappointed. I've been so mistaken for a drag queen so many times. I mean, it's so weird to me. Like this one guy was like especially mad at me after a show once. He goes, "You led me on." Before the show was, I go, "What do you mean I led you on?" Like, I'm trying to look my best. I'm not trying to look like a drag man. I'm not trying to be like a queen, trying to get gay guys to like me. I'm trying to look the best I can.
And you look beautiful.
Well, it just naturally, I'm big. My dad was a football player, and I have the shoulders and the big hair, and I do sometimes get mistaken for a dude. Even a dog that only bites men bit me the other day. So I'm not kidding. It happens all the time.
But I love the brain of a gay man, and sometimes I find myself thinking very similar, to what is inside. Like if I'm walking with one of my gay friends and we're walking down the street and I see a guy jog by, shirtless or not or whatever, and I see him from, I find that we both turn our head completely, or we both
What's
go,
his dick look like?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, did you see those dolphin shorts and the small child he was carrying in it?
Yes.
Like we both,
Yeah.
always like, I don't know, I've always related to the community, and I feel like I'm a little, even though, I'm sad to say I'm just a hetero woman. Womp, womp.
Womp, womp.
just really I feel like I understand the community.
Yeah.
Totally.
Do you understand anybody on this season of 90 Day Fiancé?
Let's get into
do
this.
it.
Let's go.
Let's now. So Vicky, you don't watch, but Shawn had you watch
She
this
watched
first
the
three
first
episodes.
2 or 3 episodes of this season.
I was only going to watch the first episode, but I couldn't help it.
But
I
it
went into-
sucked you
It sucked
in.
me in. I'm in 3 episodes.
She's a newbie.
I'm a very newbie. I always felt like, I felt like my brain would get erased if I watched these kind of shows. And I don't have much brain
And
left.
it does.
It does.
And, it turned out that I am very intrigued. Very intrigued.
Now your daughter, you said.
Oh,
what's
my
your daughter?
daughter.
What's your daughter's name again?
I'm going to tell you something really weird about this. My daughter is Emily Chandler.
Emily?
And
Okay.
she's
You just
got
name
3
checked your
children.
daughter.
It's okay.
She had to
has
think
such a
about
thing.
it.
You guys
It's
don't.
the
I know
wine.
it's so bizarre, but she doesn't watch 90 Day much, but she is very busy. Her husband's got and it's a very busy guy, very busy woman, 3 little boys, and
Good going,
she,
Emily.
regardless of her love of any reality TV and how much time she has for it, she loves your show. She's been your fan from the very beginning. When the first time that you mentioned Shawn on your blog or whatever it is, these words I
Blog?
don't know.
Does anybody have a
fuck me
blog
then, I don't know
anymore? What is this?
Shut up, bitch.
1989.
On your live
Your
journal.
social media term.
have a
When you,
blog?
when you used your live journal.
We talked about Shawn on MySpace.
Okay, when
I'm
you
sorry.
emailed Sean on your emails,
Yeah.
whatever you people
when the
call
carrier
these social-
pigeon brought the message.
Oh, fuck you all. Anyway, when you mentioned Shanika on one of the social media things,
Yes.
my daughter Emily immediately called Shanika. What? Why? How do you know them? She's been one of your biggest fans since you started, and she.
I swear to God, we did not pick them for this.
No,
We're
we
just
didn't.
But I'm
finding
just
this
saying,
out.
She doesn't. It doesn't matter that she watches or not a lot of reality. She watches some, but she just is like so many of your fans. She just adores you guys.
That's
so
sweet of
much.
her.
We love you,
See, and
Emily.
I
But
got
maybe
so
she
much
could watch
cred
the
from-
show with you now if you get her roped in.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Funny enough, because I hardly ever talk to her because we always.
I hardly. Oh, I love that. I should have just.
We're
I don't know, I
estranged.
hardly
I'll
ever
tell you why.
we've
I'll
been
tell you why I
estranged
don't
for
talk
30
to her.
years.
Because she sees me, and the minute she sees me come into the room, she hands me her children and runs the fucking other way.
You know what?
I'm not kidding you.
My mother would say that's what my sister-in-law does.
Yeah.
So
And I get it. I don't blame her. She's exhausted and tired and has a big schedule. Anytime I can unburden her and take my little fellas, happy to do it. But literally, she sees me. She goes, "Hi, Mom. Bye."
That's
And
what they
she
do.
runs.
That's what they
and whenever I see her, I'm thrilled to see her. But
Yeah.
But I feel like, with everything that's going on in this world, I am a champion of everything that's reality TV. Because
Me too.
people were like, reality TV's ruined TV. It is my only escape.
That's what it is for a lot of people.
It's escape, and weirdly, there is a beautiful, and I get heat from this by talking about it. There is an art to it. There's an art to producing it. There's an art to
Yes.
editing it, because it's all storytelling, and it's some of the most precise storytelling that we will have.
Yes.
And weirdly, when that goes awry and when storytelling doesn't work, like we just had when we were watching the Netflix series, The Ultimatum, when storytelling didn't work, we're like, why is this not fulfilling, but everything else is?
yes.
So we're in a culture where reality TV
'Cause it's
now
Nick Lachey.
exactly that because it's the Lachey's.
Well,
but
Love is Blind worked, but
Love is Blind worked.
Yes,
but-
Dance
it did.
Moms
But-
really did it for me.
I will say that Shawn has been watching the show for a while, and so we're going to get to hear the different perspectives of Shawn, who's been watching the show, and we're going to get to weigh in on this season 9 kind of first 3 episodes and cast.
Yes.
And so we just like go for it. So Vicki, knowing nothing about this show, what are your first impressions?
Well, first of all, what's the woman who is supposed to be Native American?
Eve.
Eve.
Is supposed to be.
Is supposed to be.
Eve-
I'm
ma-
just saying, more people
Yvette.
are supposedly Native American on the census of the United States. They used to have like 2,000.
it is-
Now they have 20 million
it is-
that claim to be.
it
and
is-
she might be just so Native American. I love it that she is. But first,
It is overly
but
claimed.
But she's so. It's like, she's like, I got a divorce and I was, I went on a diet and I went to exercise, and I met other people on diets and exercising, and they're my friends now. I'm like, ugh, Barf City. And then she meets this 25-year-old guy with this, and she's madly in love, and she goes to the airport with roses, and I look at her, I'm like, it's so pathetic. I would never meet a dude with. I would bring like a bottle of Jack, I mean, and I'm so intrigued by the whole thing. And then the woman with the and the guy who meets her with the van to trick her.
Bilal and Shida.
I love that. Yes, and she calls her mom, and her mom's laughing her ass off. The ceiling's falling in. I mean, of course I'm loving this.
It is.
I'm
it is
I feel like
unintentionally funny.
It's unintentionally funny, and it's like, and it's very. I mean, I get it, and I'm afraid. I never wanted to golf because I always thought, I'd like golfing too much, so I don't think I should golf, and I feel like that about 90 Days.
What?
That is a fair comparison.
I'm saying.
She's afraid.
Okay.
She's afraid she's going to get sucked in because
Yeah.
she's afraid she's going to like golf.
And that's how I feel about 90 Day Fiance. Now I feel like I'm liking it too much, and I won't be.
Welcome
able
to the cult, honey.
Thank you. Okay, well, and that's great, and I don't want to take any more because I want you guys to say all the really great things. Those are my first impressions, and I really
we
love
wanted
hearing
to
your
hear
first
your
impression.
first impressions.
Yes, so there.
I have to ask, what do you think about the girl who is in Kansas, has a baby? Emily,
please, stop
and
it.
she brings her
Stop it.
hot husband home.
And oh my God.
And she wants her fuck
and
night.
She
What
acts
do you
like
both
she's
think?
not going to have sex at her parents' house every 5
Right?
minutes. We're never going to have
Listen.
sex there
She's
in her
gonna
room.
be swinging
She's gonna be
by
banging.
his dick.
She's going to be throwing that baby over to her mom every 5 minutes.
Emily-
Oh my God. And the pink underwear, were these going to look good, honey?
Emily,
Honey.
first of all, that
they're gonna
underwear
look good.
was straight from Forever 21.
Yeah.
She spent, I think, $3 on her
I don't
her
think-
lingerie.
I think the
That came
producers
from
gave her
props.
That underwear.
That
Do
came
you
from
think
props.
Exactly, that's what I said.
I think it
There is
came
no
from
way.
props.
They made her hold those up because I'm a big girl and I know what we wear. Okay,
It
that
felt
is not
like
what we
she
wear.
could not even she could not pull her hands more than 3 inches
That
apart
made me so
to do
mad.
that. Yeah.
That freaked me out because I knew that those weren't. I did know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think she may bug me the most. Just because
She's close for me,
She
too.
screams irresponsibility.
She really does.
You know, where the family's like, oh, great, we get to raise a child when they've already raised 2 daughters, one with bangs that need a little help.
Jake,
Like, I
Jake
was
calls her bangs.
I just call her
Jake,
bangs.
I was like, oh, this sister, like she needs a nice gay friend that could just
she does.
like,
But
fix her
I
hair.
do say that sister's going to Harvard in the fall.
Yeah. I mean, that sister, whatever she's gonna do, I don't
It's
know.
going to be more than Emily. Let's be honest.
She's out of that house.
Yeah.
But Emily, you know, it's just all set up for failure. My last 2 guys were incarcerated.
Jail, yeah, it's-
You know, and the parents are just looking at her, and she's like, "I'm going to bring them here."
There's
and,
a general sadness to her parents that can only be achieved by an extremely disappointing child still living with you.
But
Yeah.
you always, as a parent, you always think it's my fault. So you have to just stand there and go, I did this, so I'm going to live with this. But my daughters are amazing because I think because of what they saw in me, the trailer woman, they became very successful just because they knew they were on their own and they had to take care of themselves. But there wasn't going to be anybody helping them. But,
Right.
But I kind of also, do you guys kind of wish that you were also like able to be like Emily to just be like, just want to get laid all the time and
You
not
mean
care
just
about
crawl
shit.
out- you just
And
crawl
hand
out of bed and say, "I want dick."
I-
Exactly.
I mean,
baby.
That's what I mean. I mean,
Yeah.
like, man.
This asshole has teeth and an appetite.
I know. Yeah, that poor kid, because he's just like, I just want to
you
be my
mean-
daddy. Not today.
COVID, which doesn't sound like COVID at all.
No.
No.
It was so weird because I asked my husband, because we watched the show religiously together.
Which y'all are a 90-day couple. We're going to talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yes.
Y'all did
They
the whole
dress
thing.
up on opening night.
Oh,
They actually order in special dinners and things. And Shannika's like, you and Lou gotta get ready. It's opening
Yeah.
night. Get something fabulous.
it's
I love it
hard.
how you do her like a Yenta, like full on Yenta from
Somehow,
like Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah. Vicky suddenly
think I
turns into like
nailed her.
Joan Rivers
I nailed
and my
her.
mother.
I nail it. I'm so
And like
good at
Lainey
it.
Kazan, somewhere
I
in
am
the middle.
so good at it.
Totally.
So,
Got
did
it.
you see, though, like, coming up on this season on, did you see
that she's going to
Emily-
get pregnant
she
again.
Gets pregnant again.
Of course.
Because yes, pointed it out. Yeah.
That's the textbook 90
course
Day
she is.
Fiance.
And she's 29 years old.
Nobody wears a condom. They all
No.
get pregnant early.
They all-
No one can find anybody at the airport when they show up. Like, what is that? It's like, I don't see them. They're not coming. Except Jenny, who really was stuck at the airport waiting for Submit. Submit, where's Submit? 9 hours later, Submit shows up with his snaggletooth. You gotta love it all.
Oh
It
God,
doesn't-
I love your submit is kind of like Cher, which I love because there is a Cher. There's a Cher quality. There's a Cher.
Yes.
There's a Cher kind of like wanting and needing in Jenny.
Jenny and Submit.
Are they your favorite 90 Day couple? Because you've been watching for a long time.
There's a few, but Jenny and Submit were so interesting because you just couldn't even believe that whole story. And it's a story that keeps playing out. I mean, that lady just was like in her 60s, uprooted her whole life, was like...
For a catfish.
Right.
For a catfish.
Right.
Let's never forget. He was a catfish
children,
at first.
Her grandchildren. She quit ended her job, cashed out her life savings,
Yes.
and moved to India. And that was I thought was the
Moved to India,
nuttiest
yep.
thing. And yet it's this gift. And she's a nice person, but it's just kind of a pathetic sadness to Jenny that she just was like, well, are you going to marry me or not, Schmidt? And he gave her a Cracker Jack ring, 25 years later. It was 10 years. It wasn't even 2 years.
But are they happy now?
I got, funny
I
you
remember
should,
we talked.
Funny you should say this.
Y'all,
Vicky.
they are
Over the years, she's been
they
telling
are
me about
showing
that.
you the divide of Jenny and Submit here. Like Vicky and Shawn are showing you.
Yeah.
That is exactly what people say. Yeah.
I funny you should ask that. I ordered for my husband for Valentine's Day. I ordered a cameo from Jenny.
Oh, please.
Yes,
And I-
yes.
I couldn't believe I found her, and I was like, oh gosh,
Full
And-
on sorry
And it wasn't
and
cheap
everything.
either.
No,
She's-
no.
Her cameo's a fairly decent.
No,
price.
she had some filter where it looked like I don't know if she really got but there's there's
Yeah.
something. I believe maybe Jenny got some work done, as everybody who goes on 90 Day Fiance
The
suddenly
filters filtered out the feathers.
Yeah, we don't
from
even
the
know
chicken.
what Devin's old face looks like.
Yeah, oh gosh.
No.
No,
No.
Devin's
That was
Devin
4
G.
faces
Boone.
ago.
Devin's face off. Everybody changed. That's also guaranteed. Once you get on this show, you're going to try
You're gonna
and
get
make
some work done.
yourself. Yes.
Yep.
You get some money. You get some work done. But Jenny,
How
she
was her cameo?
She was in a a tie-dye sweat. She's in a hoodie.
Interesting.
She's looking, she's
cool. Look
I
cool.
think she's trying to look younger for Submit. Am I younger now? So she was super nice, and I purposely, because you have to write for Cameo what you want them to say.
Yes.
And I had done this once before. Pathetically, yes, I'll admit it. Uzman, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Ali.
My first cameo I ever bought was for my husband for our anniversary, and so I had Uzman, and my husband and I were always obsessed with baby love, baby
Yeah.
love,
Baby
baby
love.
love,
Baby
baby
love.
love, baby love. And so my husband would come in and be, with his Brazilian accent, he'd go, baby love, baby love, and so I'd be like, baby love, and so all I wanted him was to say, right.
Because I raw dog my baby love the American way. No condoms. Literally, Vicky, you don't know this, but this woman,
I love
she
doing it.
said that this guy Usman was married. How old was baby girl Lisa?
Oh, she's in her 50s, but she was
50s.
like, I will raw dog him.
She said,
and I will show him the American
because
way.
she's like, an American, we don't use condoms. So
Oh, yeah.
that's why
she
he's gonna love
basically
me.
proclaimed America the no condom land.
Right. Yeah.
That no other woman would give him in Africa.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. Finish telling your
It was
story.
nuts.
Oh, I got this cameo from him, and all I wanted him to say was like, happy anniversary, baby love, baby love. I wrote baby love 1,000 times, and all he did was promote his shit. He was like,
That's so on brand.
It's Usman.
That's so on brand.
Sojo boy in the house. And it was just like, it was.
Ever say baby love?
He goes, Soulja Boy, baby. He said baby love once, but I wanted him to call my husband Baby Love, and I wanted him to say this much, but it was just like one big, like, it was like a 3-minute promotion for his music. And I was
gosh.
But
like,
the Valentine one you showed me, that was really
But
lovely.
Jenny-
She was great.
Jenny said everything I wanted her to say, but I had to write because my husband's name is Rafael because he's Brazilian, but it looks like
Ooh, that's
Rafael
beautiful. Rafael.
on paper. But Portuguese is fucked up language.
Yeah.
Ours sound like H's.
Yeah,
So it's
Rafael.
Rafael. And like no one in my crazy family can say
But it's
his
the most
name.
beautiful. Portuguese is the most beautiful language.
Yeah.
Everything ends with a vowel, and
yeah,
it's
but
gorgeous.
they get really lazy.
Oh, yeah.
In Brazil, and they abbreviate everything. And so my husband, God bless him, he swallows his Portuguese. Boy, is this gonna get, yeah,
I'd
he
swallow his Portuguese.
Yes.
You
Well,
would. I
he
would.
is as we. This is how people know your name because we always say when we talk about Brazil, when we talk about what other countries, Brazil,
DR,
DR,
or the Dick Riviera,
We
which
literally-
which is
Riviera.
Croatia, that whole area, Greece, Macedonia.
But
that's
we-
the Dick Riviera.
we say I steal your joke, and I'm like, well, Brazil, top of the dick chain, and then I say
It is. Boy,
that's
you're
because
not
I never
lying.
remember Shawn Pelofsky telling us all describing what the dick chain
Yeah,
was.
that top of the Latin food chain, and I was taught that by gay men itself was a Brazilian man.
Yeah.
Oh.
And just because that was put into my head, I was so impressionable. I was like, okay, I think I'll go from, John Levy to a Brazilian. And it is true. They are good
You're like,
looking people.
I need a new pussy after this. Does anyone know where I can buy a new pussy?
That's true. And he
Pussy
needs,
for sale.
yeah, totally. And it was, they are good looking people over there, but it is true about what you see on 90 Day Fiance. They're always jealous. They're jealous people.
Really?
It's kind of big in the
Yeah.
Latin culture.
Especially the Brazilian women who have been on 90 Day Fiance have been some of our, let's say, cuckooiest.
Yes, they're always like, I'm jealous. I'm so
Yeah.
jealous.
Larissa, Jess.
Yes.
We've had a few of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if Karine was
She's
jealous.
she's a special case because Karine, I think, has mental problems.
But those two were actually my other favorite couple.
Paul and Karine.
Because Paul's a
Karine,
maniac.
I love you. Five
and
for five.
I loved how she always called him. She's like, Paul, you lie, Paul. You lie. She called him Paul. Paul,
yeah.
you lie, Paul. And
Karine, I just need to go back to my mother and I need to hold her hair.
yes,
So, Karine.
when that mom gave him, this guy was.
You
going-
really should see that
First of
season.
all, this guy
will.
meets a girl in Brazil, and every guy in America is trying to meet a girl from Brazil.
Just
But let me
unbelievable.
tell you, she doesn't just live in Brazil, Vicky. She lives in the,
The fucking
fucking
Amazon.
Amazon. She lives in Manaus, which is, first of all, the most
Manaus, friend.
dangerous part of Brazil, period.
It takes 3
Really?
days to get there,
Yeah.
Vicky.
Like,
By
Vicky,
boat. You have to
Oh
go
my
on a
God.
fucking Amazon cruise
Amazon
to get
cruise.
there.
I could finish the Torah before you could get to where this girl lives in the Amazon. And this guy
Aleph.
would never been on a plane, gets on a plane, he takes buses, and then he takes a boat with like deadly mosquitoes because everything in
poop
Brazil
water.
Yeah.
is trying to kill you,
Yeah.
especially in the Amazon. It's
And he's a
designed.
germaphobe. So it's the best television you'd ever
God,
want.
I want
And
to
he's
see it.
dragging these trunks. He doesn't even have real luggage.
Yeah.
He just gets like these packing trunks.
Yeah.
Like
It's why I tell people, if you've never seen 90 Day Fiance, you start with Before the 90 Days. Start with Before the 90 Days season 2, and that will be your gateway. You
Okay.
will not be able to stop.
All right, then.
But I
That
also
was Paul.
believe that
Frightening.
90 Days the Other Way is
the best.
hands
The
down
best.
When
It
they
is the
take
best.
them, and it's the
And
reverse.
that's after the.
No, it's the reverse where somebody has
From
to
America
go,
goes.
has to go
Oh, to
because
there.
They
'cause
go move to
can't-
another country. Which, speaking of, so finish the story of Jenny giving you a cameo to your husband.
Well, Jenny. So I put in parentheses how to say his name because I didn't want her to say Raphael. So I spelled it phonetically like Hoff. And the whole cameo is basically her trying to pronounce his name.
She sent it to me. It's pretty funny. You can watch
I mean,
it.
she was like, I just like to say, well, this is from your love, Shawn, and Submit and I. And I kept making her say Submit. Because Hoppy and I walk around the house going, Submit. 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 And so I had Submit placed, strategically like I had Baby Love, but she actually said Submit. And my husband has two friends. I started saying my boyfriend. My husband has two friends, which I call them his boyfriends, and they're both Indian. So I feel like all he knows are Indian people. So I had in the cameo her saying, "I hear you know a lot of people here in India," and then she actually invited my husband to come stay with her.
Oh,
and I'm
my
like,
God.
now we've got to go to India, so we could stay.
Of course.
But she kept just going, I'm not quite sure. Is it Havy
thing.
Hafel the whole time.
Well,
But she
it was
was
really-
very nice.
It was a full 30 seconds of trying to say the name.
The only thing that keeps her grounded is she has a lesbian daughter, and her daughter has a wife who has made most of our female listenership go gay for her wife.
That's when
They're a hot couple.
Yeah.
and they look alike, which is like right on, like par for
It's
course.
definitely a lesbian brand. Yeah.
It was, and the wife that she married looks like she could murder a whole family with one
With
look.
her hand.
With
Yeah,
one look,
yeah.
yeah.
One look, just a look, and we're all down. And
We're all down.
when they had to fly to India to go get Jenny Schmidt's not going to marry me because he's actually married. I mean, I just thought,
See, Vicky, this is what it sucks you in like this.
Yes, I have heard the stories of this.
The other way-
but
the other way
I
is-
have to see it
is
for
the best.
myself.
Is
The
it
other
like
way.
is it like this living in a trailer park?
It so much is. That's why I really don't have to watch all these because I live all this.
Y'all, Vicky needs to tell us about trailer park life. She lives in a trailer park in Oceanside, which is, if you don't know it, is a gorgeous place.
It's beautiful.
And we have a 90-day connection to a trailer park. We know that Larry and Jenny still live in a trailer park, and Jenny is still singing karaoke outside in her trailer park with the karaoke machine.
Yeah.
obviously
so
Larry and Jenny are
fantastic.
not getting that cameo money.
They're not.
They're not.
They're
Oh,
not.
no.
They're not. I don't
He's
think-
still he's still a manager at
maybe tonight
McDonald's.
After the fans see the show, they'll think about calling him up and getting
Yeah.
the karaoke from the trailer.
maybe.
But tell us
maybe.
what's the best thing about living in a trailer park?
The best thing about living in a trailer park is you're up on wheels, so you're not like on the ground. You float above the ground. You're not encumbered by drywall because you have paneling, and the aluminum. At sunset, I love walking through the trailer park at sunset.
I love
when the
this,
sun
though.
hits the aluminum and the different paint on the aluminum. It's like a Matisse painting comes alive.
Yes!
It's so beautiful.
What just happened?
I think my speaker just went boop.
Oh my God!
And-
Even the speaker's like, I'm never living in a trailer park.
bullshit.
and everybody lives in a trailer park. We're we're all like in it together,
Yeah.
And so we all help each other, and we don't. Like the other day, one of my neighbors had she called me up. She goes, "Can you take my dog? I need to go to the hospital." And I was coming home from Albertsons. And I was buying myself some flowers. And I go, "You need to go to the hospital?" And she goes, "Yeah. You want me to watch your dog?" She said, "Yes." And I said, "Do you want to ride to the hospital?" She said, "Yes." And I had these flowers in my hand. I go, I wonder if I should go through the line and pay for the flowers or rush her to the hospital. And I'm like, fuck it, I want these flowers. So I waited, and she could have died. I purchased the flowers. And I came home. I brought her to the hospital. No shit. I bring her to the emergency room, and another lady from my trailer park's in a different room. I said to the security guard, I go, everybody from my fucking trailer park is in the emergency room tonight. But she wasn't having a stroke. She just forgot to eat that day. It's just endlessly fun. Endlessly fun. And we always say, the blonde alcoholic with the dog, and we all go,
Which one?
It's always the same. Nobody can ever identify the right alcoholic. It's so much fun.
I just have to say, Vicky just said the phrase, I was at Albertsons and I was buying flowers for myself. And that was my favorite part of that story. And
pathetic.
because I thought that's the trailer park Mrs. Dalloway.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's going to Albertsons and buying the flowers herself.
I always use cloth
But it's
napkins.
usually the other, was it Dollar Barn or like
You don't even know what- you don't even know.
Vicky
Dollar
loves to
Tree.
announce.
Dollar
Vicki,
Tree.
She loves to announce when she's
Grocery
going,
outlet. Oh, you're gonna
Grocery
make
outlet.
fun of grocery
She
outlet
goes,
now.
Listen, Shanika, I'm just gonna make a fast run at grocery outlet. I'm like, why do you have to tell me grocery? Because like you're not gonna.
It's called grocery outlet.
Yeah, you're never
Shanika
gonna
would
see me
rather-
at a
She's
grocery
never
outlet.
going in.
Never.
She can't even be in the parking lot.
What's a grocery outlet? I've never
Exactly
kidding
like
me?
it sounds.
It's a
horrifying.
It's fabulous. It's fabulous. They're all over the country. They're independently owned. It's a chain, and they sell like old used food and stuff like that that nobody wants. And
Used
you have to
food?
Check, you have to check the dates very
that's
carefully.
like Jenny.
But like food that I could never afford.
Y'all
for my
check your
family.
XPs.
It's like super high end, like really like very expensive cheeses and stuff that only have a few days left, or maybe not even.
Okay, I'm into this.
Yeah,
The more you
best.
talk about it, I'm into it.
And wines and things like that, things I could never afford. I get at grocery outlet.
My mother taught me outlet. I was just telling him, anytime I'm at the grocery store, I will never not buy meat that's on sale, because my mother said, "Don't ever buy that. Are you kidding me? It's all a racket. You got to buy it because a different meat goes on sale every other week. You buy what meat goes on sale. Don't ever buy anything that's not on sale.
Absolutely.
Come on."
So you buy that meat that's on sale.
Yes, you buy the
Yes,
meat
you buy
that's
that
on
meat
sale.
that's on sale.
And that's what you have for dinner that night.
Exactly.
God, that's a
Always.
depression mentality, but that's how I live.
I mean, I did stand-up comedy as a mom. I started when I was 40 years old. I had my parents had a carpet store. I made a lot of money. We had a few stores. I worked my 20 years building this business, and all of a sudden, I went, I can't do this anymore. I hate it, and I never was born to do it. It wasn't like it was good to give people a good deal on carpet, but it wasn't my heart, you know. And
You mean you weren't born to give people a good deal on carpet?
I mean, we sold seconds and irregulars, and we were special
Yes.
that way. But
Do you miss Berber?
I sure do. I could tell you a little bit about maintaining a Berber. It's not easy. As long as you don't walk on it, you're
I've
gonna
been
be
with
fine.
a Berber once or
Exactly.
twice.
As long as you don't walk on
Yeah.
it, you're fine.
So anyway,
That's awesome, though. That's wonderful.
But so I left that, and I instantly was poor, and I had $2. We bought a trailer, and we moved in, and I raised my children on stand-up comedy wages, and so I had to find ways to be, you know. And when I found Grocery Outlet, it just, I mean, my God.
This is a grocery outlet commercial.
It's just practically, speaking of,
Sorry.
we said this is going to be like a 30-minute show. Y'all, you're getting a gift because
We're
having
going
a
to
good
take
time.
a commercial break, and we'll be right back. We're back with Sean Pelofsky and Vicki Barbolak.
Babcock.
Babcock. Vicki Babcock.
Vicky Babcock.
Like Cece Babcock from
Thank
The
you.
Nanny.
Yeah.
One of my favorite characters of all time.
Oh, God, the nanny. All right, y'all.
Who should have been a lesbian.
She
We're
should have
all
been
right. Right. Like Cece should have been a lesbian.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
then the
the
daughter of
reboot, she
Jenny.
will be.
In the reboot,
Exactly.
she will be. Okay, so the second half, we want to ask you, what other reality shows are y'all watching into?
You're a fanatic, so
Yeah,
Sean's a fanatic.
I
so-
watch a lot of reality TV, almost a little too much, but I'm proud. Big Bravo fan.
Okay.
Real Housewives, all of them.
Yeah.
Each one.
I'm not into any of them, and I got roped into Salt
We
Lake
got
City.
Salt Lake City, and
Good.
we do.
Actually, let me
we-
preface this.
Yes.
Holy
We're-
crap. What did they do in Salt Lake
It's
City?
so interesting because they've got
crazy shit, Vicky.
They go to the
They
temple,
go to jail.
baptize people?
They
Are you
do,
kidding me?
what's interesting to me about that show is they all have, some of them have the connection to the Mormon faith and how they
some don't.
leave it or not, but it's still connected.
It's fascinating.
But I was talking about it on our show, and I was like,
Interesting.
"Oh, I was watching Salt Wives,"
And I just
called
went-
it Salt Wives
And I
instead of
went-
Salt Lake City.
And I said, Salt Wives sounds like a show set in Maine
Yeah.
with fishermen's wives, and they're
Salty
rubbing
wives.
their hands through salt water because their fisherman husbands have gone out.
Yes.
And it's like Ellen Burstyn,
Frances McDormand,
Frances McDormand, Connie Britton, Jennifer...
Judith Light.
And
Judith
Light, yes. And Jennifer Goodwin is the young one.
And then you said
and
Alfie-
Viola Davis comes in as
Wait,
the...
no, you said Alfie Woodard.
Alfie Woodard comes in as the villain. But it's all about they're like, my husband's gone out. I'm going to wait for him, though, because I am a salt wife, and I will wait. And it's all about, I hear the puffins calling me, and the dolls are calling. it's just this woman from Maine, and I know exactly who she is. She wears sensible clothing.
It's all gray tones.
It's
Anyway.
just like she's like, funny, the sea won't let you sleep past 4:30 a.m. and it's all just them saying, my children are ungrateful, and I'm waiting for my husband to come back. Ephraim, I will see you across this great briny. And it's all, and it just came, and I want to write a spec script for Salt Lives.
Briny.
Guest starring Reba McEntire.
Yes. There's so many, and at the end of every episode, they're either overjoyed or annoyed
Oh my God.
that one of their husbands has died.
But give us
And
hilarious-
so there's a party.
Give us a takeaway from. I mean, for people who haven't seen it, give us a takeaway from Salt
Real
Lake City.
Housewives?
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City, yeah.
What's going on there?
There's always there's always the same equation for all the Real Housewives.
Yeah.
They're always rich.
Right, yeah.
And it's not necessarily them.
Yeah.
It's
No.
their husbands.
Of course.
Usually.
Some of them have made their own money.
Yeah.
Like Heather Gay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some own a business.
But why Salt Lake City? It's like, what?
No,
Because
Salt
there's
Lake.
a lot of money
So-
in the Mormon Vicky.
There's a lot of more. Also,
it is
Salt
the MLM
Is like the
capital of the
Marriott
world.
family on it? Is the Marriott's on it?
The Marriott family is based in Salt Lake City, but it
Yeah,
is
are
the...
they on the show?
I don't
No,
think so, but
they're
it
not
is
on the
It
show.
is the multi-level marketing capital of the
multi-level marketing,
US.
and also I believe the top 3 plastic surgery capital in the country
Oh my
is
God.
Salt Lake
Well,
City.
I joined the Mormon church in high school, so I go to the prom.
Shut the fuck up.
For you go to the
Baptized.
prom?
I got baptized because I fell in love with Kate Christensen, and so,
What?
yeah,
What's happening?
I just love Shannon's face.
You didn't know
I mean,
the
like-
story.
I mean, I kind of do.
I
but
just love-
sometimes I just, you know.
I joined the Mormon church because I
block,
wanted to
Vicky
go to prom.
Babcock
then I stayed
stories
in it
out.
for like 2 years, and then they found out the Relief Society came to see if your house was clean, and I couldn't stay in it anymore. I'm all up for anyone else who's in it. I have total respect. Wonderful people.
Respect
That
for the
what?
Mormon church.
So you're Bravo. You're a Bravo bitch.
I'm Bravo, and I'm TLC, but TLC, I believe, has become like the freak show channel. They have
100%.
They have taken the reins from. Do you remember when it was A&E?
Oh,
Yeah.
A&E was bonkers.
A&E was intervention. It was
My
psychic.
Strange Addiction was on
Psychic
there.
Kids,
Psychic
Obsessed.
Kids.
Did you ever see Obsessed?
Yes, obsessed.
Where my favorite Obsessed was with this guy, and his name was Scott. He was this gay guy who lived
Oh
in
my
Palm
God, I know
Springs.
exactly what you're talking about.
I'm talking about?
We're like the only ones who watch this show, but
And
yes.
they have, and so Obsessed is people who have OCD,
Yes.
terrible OCD, and they bring in a cognitive behavioral
Yeah.
therapist.
This is early 2000s,
No, I remember
mid
that
2000s, yeah.
But Scott was this architect, he was an architect.
Yes.
Architect in Palm Springs, and he had this immaculate house, and he was afraid of germs.
So gay.
so gay and so afraid of germs, he didn't even have a trash receptacle.
No,
he said he
could
had
not
to say
have it.
receptacle
He
in
did
his
say
house.
receptacle.
And they bring in this cognitive behavioral therapist, and she comes in, and she knows she's got to deal with Scott. And she goes, Scott, I have to use your bathroom. It just so happens to be I'm on my period, and
He starts losing his shit.
his gay head severs and shoots into space. You can physically
Just pops off.
You can probably still see it flying. And she goes into his bathroom, right? Uses it, comes out, and she brings out the hand towel that she used to wash her hands.
Yes,
And she
yes, I
hands
remember
it to
this.
Scott. I shit you not. And she says, Scott, I want you to take this hand towel and
Yes.
touch it. He's like, I can't. She said, Scott, take the hand towel. He takes the hand towel. He touches. He says, Scott, now I want you to touch your face.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
goes, I can't. I'm getting excited. So then she says, Scott, I need you to touch your face. He touches his face. And I'm not making this up. You can watch it. She said, Scott, what do you feel? And he says, I feel vaginal secretions.
Yes, this happened. 100%.
Endometriosis.
Endometriosis.
And fibroid juices. And I'm like, oh my
Fibroid
God.
juices, yes.
Scott has a lot of vaginal problems for a guy.
It's all pussy phobia.
But
God.
cut
100%.
to years later, I get a call from one of my friends, and he goes, "Hey, Shawn, I'm at my house in Palm Springs. I have someone here who would like to
Shut
talk
the
to
fuck
you."
up.
No.
Shut the fuck up.
No.
Don't.
And it was
Shut
like,
up.
"Is this Shawn?" And I'm like, "Hello?" And I knew right away. He goes, "You may know," and I'm like, "Scott."
Wait, did you talk about him in your
Because you've been talking
stand-up?
about your act because it's
He
ridiculous.
knew. He knew. Yeah, because I had talked about him, and I go, "Is this vaginal secretion?"
And gay news gets around.
What
because,
is
yeah.
what is he? Is he better now?
I didn't ask him that because
Oh,
I
of
was
course
just
he's not. He just bought a new house.
My friend said he was really lovely and really easy to work with. I was like, okay, but just don't try and throw anything away at
Just
his
don't
house.
put a vagina around him. Yeah. No.
Come on. I mean, the girl. I mean, how mean to go. I'm on my period. I'm
Well,
gonna use your bathroom. I mean,
part of-
obviously,
Part of that show is they use what they call exposure therapy,
Yeah.
but it's in a way, it is exposure therapy, but it's also mean-spirited for the camera
great
Well,
therapy.
very.
great
Because they have to
TV.
amp it up. They have
Right.
to amp
Yeah.
it up for
As
television.
All mean producers do, and that's
horrible.
that
Exactly.
is the basis.
they
to
are
reality
taking
TV.
advantage of people's mental
Soulless
illness.
producers,
Yeah.
and so A&E was just always kind of this freak show channel. TLC has taken the reins. They are queen.
Oh, my
of,
God, yeah, they
like
are.
because they have
We watch all those shows and
Right.
cover them on our Patreon.
Dr. Pimple Popper.
Oh, what? Oh,
I can't.
I watch.
No, I can't
Okay,
watch
so
someone popping pimples
every night.
Not for me.
Every night I watch her to relax myself and go to bed.
I think
The only
you
reason
need
I married my
serious
second
help.
husband
you-
is because he got a pimple on his dick once.
Oh,
And I popped it, and it was the most wonderful experience of my life.
oh
A
my
whitehead.
God! You
A
thought that the
whitehead on his
Mormon
dick.
A
thing was
whitehead on his white head, if you will.
Oh my God, I still remember it. It was the best thing about him.
What you can say, Vicky's face, y'all?
Oh,
she
my
looks like
God.
Ariel sitting on that rock looking at Eric.
Vicky just went somewhere.
Oh my God.
So, but they also have. Do you watch Smothered?
I've watched a little bit of Smothered,
Extreme Sisters.
Body Parts.
Oh, I haven't seen.
And
Body-
then,
No, body part.
have
Body
you guys-
parts is pretty crazy. Yeah.
Have you watched Mommy? Why Am I a Hunchback? Have you watched that
Shut
one?
the
No.
fuck up. That's a show.
That's a
No,
show?
but it should be.
we believe you. We believe
But
you.
that's next.
I was gonna say, "Mommy, why do I have a tail?" Was gonna be my other one too.
Because in Extreme
Exactly.
Sisters, where Jake, we call it the cringe tier on our Patreon because and Jake named it that whenever there was two twin sisters and one of them started her period, and so the
yeah.
other one they were wearing clothes, but the other one laid down, sat on the couch, and the
I
other
think
one,
it's time for pang pang.
They call
And
it
we
pang
went,
pang.
pang pang. You want to do pang pang? And all of us were like, "What's
what?
pang
And so
pang?"
she lays her head on her sister's lap so she can smell her period, so that way she'll start her period.
no,
so
no,
they're
no,
cycling
no.
together.
No.
Yes.
Where are they located? Where are they? Where are they? Like
They're
West
like in-
Virginia? Are they in West
They're,
Virginia?
in,
No,
they're
they're
in
like
like Pacific Northwest,
Pacific
Seattle-ish.
Oh,
No,
Anyway, it's
God.
so
they're-
good.
They are so
What is it?
codependent
This
and
is called
fucked
what?
up.
Extreme Sisters.
I have a
Extreme
hard time watching
There's
it.
twins that share a
I get
husband
sick
in
to my
Australia.
stomach when I
What?
get.
They
when I
share a husband,
When I
and
watch
like
it.
Oh my God.
he has to do the same thing to one that he does
Same
to the
time.
other,
Same time.
including, but they don't go into it, including fucking. So the sisters
Okay.
say they never do things together, but one sister literally is
He has to,
laying
like,
there,
bang
he's
her.
railing the other one 5 times, and then he has to move
He's like,
over and go
"I'm
like,
counting, so
1,
you need to come
2,
off- you need to
3,
bang me 5
4,
times."
5. So, but we always want to know, you can only come once. I mean, I guess you can come
No,
twice.
you
but it's
have
gonna take-
to, but like, there's you need a little time.
I guess he does first, and then like 10 minutes later finishes up.
Do
with
they?
her.
Do they like flip a coin
They-
to see who it's
I don't
first?
know.
Oh
It's-
my God.
It's so. But you were right. They have taken the reins from A&E.
It's like A&E looks
That
like
makes that other one
NBC
look-
compared to
That other
Yes.
show was the tame one with the guy, the horrible guy with all the wives. What was that called?
Sister
Sister
Wives.
Wives,
That's
Cody.
nothing.
Oh, we haven't watched.
That's nothing now.
Well,
That's-
compared to
that is a soap opera of the absurd, and I got into it. 'cause
I
was,
did too.
I was watching it
I was into
as I
that.
would fall
Yeah.
to sleep,
Yeah.
and then I discovered because that is actually the evolution of women's rights in a small microcosm.
You know what the thing about
We
that
watch
show
it.
that
It's
drove me nuts
amazing.
was I the only reason I've ever thought it was a good idea to be a sister wife was if you,
I'd be up for
there's
it.
one reason. You all lived in the same house and you fucking shared the cleaning. Mm-hmm. And these bitches lived in 5
And
different
cooking.
houses. And they had to clean their own fucking houses.
And they had their own bedrooms.
To me, that was so stupid. If you're going to be with one dick, everybody share the cleaning. And
be in
this
one
was-
house.
Yeah, in one house.
That's what
so
I-
they could relax.
I agree.
And it just was like so stupid.
I agree.
It drove me nuts.
Now, you watch Project Runway,
Vicky
right?
gives a very persuasive argument
She
for
does.
polygamy.
I'm as huge.
Yes.
Of course I do. A little less time on your knees. I was
Until you have to go to grocery outlet.
Until
Then
you have to go to
go.
grocery outlet. So,
Shanika, someday we will go, and you will be so
No,
impressed.
you're not going to go. Jake's going to go.
I'm
Jake,
going to
I
go
will
to
take you,
grocery.
Jake.
I will, Vicky.
fine.
I
I'm
will
not
go to
kidding you.
grocery
I
outlet
want
with
to take
you.
you on your virgin.
As long as there's meat on sale, because I
There's-
will not
you know,
buy meat full price.
You know what? Meat.
Ever.
We'll talk later about what you're looking for at grocery outlet. It's it's high end shit.
It's the grocery outlet tutorial.
Okay,
Yes.
whatever. But I'm
I'd
I'm gonna tell
rather
you about,
not buy
I will
produce
tell you about
full
Project
price.
Runway though. My daughters and I, we had very little money in our trailer, but we watched Project Runway. And so what we did was every time the season opened, we had a party on the opening night of the season. We had my daughters and all their friends and their moms would come over to our trailer.
Aww.
And we emptied out the trailer of all of our furniture, and we put tables on the walls, and we had challenges. All, you know, we have an opening season challenge, like paper towels, coffee filters, whatever. and it was like we challenged. And I pretended I would dress as Heidi Klum, and I had a blonde wig and everything. And one of my comedy
remember
friends
that.
would always be play the part of Tim Gunn. And so we did it year after year after year. And the girls got older and graduated high school. We had graduation ones and everything. So when I got America's Got Talent,
I was just going to say, you met Heidi Klum.
Klum was the judge. And
What'd
so,
you say to her?
Well, I was trying to keep it together. And then one night I'm in an elevator. I get in an elevator. I think I'm alone. She's in a gray dress. I don't see her. Me and her and her bodyguard.
Das Vicky. What are you
we're
doing
in
here?
an elevator together, the three of us. And I've been like on the show for 5 or 6 weeks, and she's been laughing at my jokes. She's been very nice. And this was my opportunity to say to her, I go, "Oh my God, Heidi Klum!" I thought I'd be like really cool, but no. "Oh my God, Heidi Klum! We've been doing Project Runway in my trailer for years, and I just oh my God, I got And then she pressed a button, boom, and she and her
Bodyguard
exited the elevator. And then the next day, she is walking.
Maybe
near me in the
eugenics was a
hallway.
good idea.
And I looked at her, and she
Das
looked at
trailer
but she
lady
looked
is
at me.
crazy.
Honest to God, you guys, she looked at me, and I looked at her, and she went like this. She kind of like smiled at me and goes, like literally, let me know. Look, I know you're an asshole, and I still like you anyway. She like kind of gave me an acknowledgement that whatever you did last night in the elevator when you
Was
flipped
fine.
out was okay. She let me know that, like dolphins like let each other know.
No,
and it was very
people
clear.
People who've had
She was
relationships
very
with her
clear,
say she's
and
nice.
she was very clear that she was super nice, and she just had to leave the elevator because she was terrified. So
Yeah.
and then the rest of the season she was fantastic. So
But have
So-
you guys
so nice.
ever met somebody? Because I am so excited. Like, I know there's a lot of celebrities out there, but it's like, it's not like an actor that's gonna do it for me, but anybody from reality
or
same.
country
I
music.
Same.
lose my mind.
I have to say, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but
Say it.
We talked to, I don't know if you watched
Say
this
it.
show, but we did it today. We talked to Michelle Bolero on our show.
We did on a phone call.
Who does pig royalty.
This-
And she is the kind of, she was the villain of season 1 of Pig Royalty.
I haven't seen that show
That
yet.
you would get in
Sean,
that show because
what's
we
the show called?
It's called Pig Royalty.
It's the best show
It's about pigs.
pig shows.
and the
On what?
Professional pig showing.
Professional pig show in San
pig
Antonio.
showing. Oh my God, the chicken showing documentary was amazing. The
Chicken
pig showing-
People.
Chicken People's my favorite show I've ever seen.
It's
But
like that. You
pig
will
show-
love this. The
But I
quote
love
unquote
pigs more than
villain
chickens.
Bolero girls, they all show pigs, or they showed pigs and they were champions, and they all wear cheetah print when they show.
Oh no!
But-
And they
We
have
were-
a
What's
rival
this
fame.
on?
Discovery Plus.
Discovery Plus. But
Pigs.
I was, and it's on Animal Planet now. You can
The
see
first
it.
season.
But I was nervous.
I was nervous
about
to talk
talking
to
to
her.
her because
Yeah.
Talk to the pig
mostly
girls?
because we've talked a little shit about them in previous episodes.
A little?
Well, we may have mentioned that she is a giant.
When she gets angry.
We think when she's angry, like Maleficent turns into a dragon, Michelle Bolero turns into a giant pig who breathes fire over people and shits on everyone.
Big shits on everyone. We
And-
did say that.
She had a great name. It's
I'm
Michelle
I'm
Bolero.
pretty sure she's heard that, but she was very kind to us today. And I kept waiting for her to say, "I know what y'all have said about me," but you're right. It's the reality people who I get nervous about.
Yeah.
Well, I once went to see Kelly Clarkson at the
Oh, I'd
Hollywood
flip.
Bowl, and I love like American Idol. I
So does
love
Poodle.
like because
Love it.
and so you think you can dance like
All of it.
I feel like
We just
I'm-
went and saw David Archuleta like 2 months ago for Christmas or in December, and we both cried,
cried.
like babies.
I
Clutched
cried
my
to him,
pearls.
too.
I cried. I clutched my pearls the whole time.
Oh, beautiful.
But you see these people and you feel like because they're on a reality show competition like Vicki, you feel like
They're
you know
you.
them.
Yeah.
And so even as big as Kelly Clarkson has become as like how famous she is and how well she is,
She still says ducka,
she's
ducka,
a-
ducka.
She's a singer.
Yeah.
But there I was. And we got to like, there's a little meet and greet you could do beforehand. And so my gay friends had arranged all this and they had
Because
all.
gays love
Right.
Kelly Clarkson.
And we were
Yeah.
all in a line, and I got over there, and finally I'm standing there, and she's like, "Hi, Shawn, nice to meet you." She goes, "You smell so good." I'm like, thank you. I love American Idol. You were the best American Idol winner. You're so great. You're great. And she's like, "Thank you. You just smell so good." And I was like, "Don't say it. Don't say it." And I was like, "It's a vanilla body spray from Walgreens." And that was,
No, not Shanika. She doesn't buy anything that's not from Saks Fifth Avenue. I
I
don't even
felt
know
like-
why she was wearing
And
a
she's
Vanilla's
like,
body
didn't
spray.
need to know that,
Oh,
but let's
God.
take
I
a
mean,
picture.
Yeah, I mean, I heard I saw all my gay friends gasp, and I felt like I don't know why I felt like
Let
Kelly.
me send you a bottle, Kelly.
I felt like Kelly Clarkson was trying to break me down, and she did. And
She probably went to Walgreens and bought
I
it.
will say, your gay friends will always tell you when you went beyond the pale.
Yeah.
They will always, they are your barometer.
They are your barometer.
yeah, but I lose it around reality stars.
There-
I mean,
Well, have
I go
people lost it
crazy.
around you, Vicky?
Oh,
I mean,
Nobody.
Oh,
because
come
wait,
on, you
'cause
have
were
to be
top
recognized,
10, right?
Vicky.
Yes.
No, nobody recognizes it.
But
Yes,
right,
they
oh,
do.
put
But
your
they
mic up.
approach you. They
the wine's
totally
kicking in.
approach you.
Use the mic to talk. Wait, but you were top 10, right?
Yeah, but it's mostly the very best part for me is like people will come up to me and they'll say, "Oh, I will wear a sleeveless top because you're so fat and you wear nothing," and it makes me happy. I
Vicky,
mean,
that's
no,
not all people say.
The thing
to you.
is, Vicky, you're not fat.
Oh, come on. Anyway, the bottom line is, I love. I feel like my story that was on AGT is like a woman who was 40 years old who decided to sell her parents' carpet store that she built
Yeah.
for 20 years and tell her daughters we're moving into a trailer. We're going to be instantly poor and we're going to be shopping at thrift stores and people are going to be donating food to us for the next 20 years so I can do my dream. And the AGT showed people that. Like Shanika always goes, I didn't even know I was tragic and pathetic till I was on AGT. I just thought I was living my life. And but what happened was people like saw my story and it is my life. But it was just for me, I don't give a shit about how much money I have. I couldn't have sold carpet for one more day after I started stand up. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
So I got to do what I love to do. People see it and they go, wow. One woman, I remember like 4 months into my tour after AGT, she goes, Vicky, I saw you. I quit my job. I started my own business. I made $68,000. Like, I'm like, you bitch. I'd like to make $68,000, motherfucker. And so,
Uh-oh, you got poodle
I just have to say though, what's interesting though is what happens when the color enters your life when you're doing something you love to do.
That's a great
Yeah.
way to put it.
And
It
it's
does-
like Pleasantville.
Yeah.
Where
Exactly.
we're like, I've been working in a shit job for so long, and we have so many people reach out to us and say, I quit my job because you guys said don't do something that you don't
Yay.
feel valued and you
Yay.
don't love to do, or just people say, I just decided to do this and I just got to tell you guys about it. And it's such a wonderful thing to hear, even if, we don't have to do anything, but people just tell us, my life, I feel better about this now.
It's
or
great.
when people say, yeah, thanks for saying this about shitty relationships. I just left my husband last night, and I'm happy about it. And my life has color now, or something like that. And it's just, when that happens, it's such a change for people. And it's so good to be able, so I'm sure those people who heard you can think the same thing. So I'm sure you inspired a lot more people than you think.
She did, and I see it all the time.
Yeah.
When I hang with Vicki or when she's recognized, people, Vicki really is America's sweetheart. She's really a beloved person, and people feel like they can relate to her because Vicki's just nice to everybody, and she always has been. Always been kind and good to people. And like when I went to go watch her in the live tapings, I was so nervous for her.
That's hard to do.
I was dying.
They're so scary.
And I feel like, because I've watched so many of those, where I've judged on American Idol, I feel like I'm a judge of So You Think You Can
Of
Dance.
course,
I'm
yeah.
a judge on The Voice. I'm a judge. I was a judge on in my head, I'm like, I'm a judge of what's talented, and she's talented. And then I'd see these people go up, and people, would clap for them, but they'd give them the sob story, and it was just like, now you just can't be talented now. Now you got to have the sob story. And Vicki's story wasn't, even
It's not a sob
compared.
story. It's just real.
Right.
I didn't know it was tragic till I was on the show. And so, but the thing was, what they didn't know, what they kept trying to make it out was like, oh, you've been so pained the last 20 years, having no money, living in a trailer. But I did, they kind of like quiet it down. Don't emphasize this, but, that's saying, any day of fishing is better than a bad day of fishing. Is any better
fucking
day of
man.
work.
Yeah.
And it's like, because
Yeah,
I
because
saw-
have you regretted it one
Exactly.
day?
And I
Zero.
meet comics who like complain about comedy. Oh, it's so hard. I'm like, fuck, go sell carpet, little asshole.
But
for
that's the
20
thing.
years.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know. I mean, feel like if you do something you love, you're so
Yeah.
lucky
Yeah.
to do it. And it doesn't matter about money or outcomes. It just matters you found something you love to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And
You could be still working at the carpet store,
every time
and
I
you'd
see
have money.
Every time I drive by a carpet store, I'm like, not that it's not a bad thing to do. I mean, my father really enjoyed it, and I get it. It's very honorable.
But we're all
Putting
different.
flooring in is a good thing. You make people's homes beautiful. It just wasn't my heart.
It wasn't your
know?
thing. No, I worked at a law
know?
office for 18 years. I finally quit this last year.
Right on.
So
Yeah,
it's kind of
I
like,
know.
almost 20 years.
And you try
so.
to help people in your work as much as you. I mean, I did. I mean, we sold seconds and irregulars. We were very special.
I'm not made to work with people or for people.
Because Poodle's
Why not,
he's
Poodle?
that bitch that says something.
Because I need to be my own boss, and I just can't.
Then I
Well, the
suggest
thing
you
is, our
don't
carpet
wait
store was
tables.
in the days before
no,
Yelp.
girl,
when there was no
I've been a
Yelp.
server.
There's no Yelp.
You could treat customers how you wanted to.
Holy fuck.
My parents got drunk every night, fell asleep on the carpet rolls. We had a liquor store next door to the shop. They never shut the doors. People come in the morning. My parents were asleep on the carpet rolls.
You know what? I used to take naps on those carpet rolls when
They're
I was a
very
kid. They're
comfortable.
very
It's very
comfortable.
comfortable. What you
And you
say.
could bang people on the pad rolls.
There
I don't
you
wanna
go,
talk about it.
pad.
too
You know
later.
what? That when he worked at the bookstore in West Hollywood, he would keep the keys, and at night he'd bring in his tricks into West Hollywood and
course,
bang
what
them all
else
the
am I
day.
gonna do?
Nothing better than having sex when
Cheers to
You
that.
can
L'chaim.
you can fuck
L'chaim.
them. You can fuck
L'chaim.
them in the gay bookstore.
It's nothing better than having sex where you work. There's nothing
Thank
better.
you. And everyone's like sitting there like the next day eating where you just banged your trick the night
No,
before.
yeah.
It's a beautiful-
But no, my thing was like I was a server for a long time,
Uh-huh.
and I
So
did
was
it
I.
because I loved the thrill of it, and I loved I loved the drugs that I did while I was doing.
Oh my God! Well, good for you. I wish I'd had those.
Well, it's the
the
only
day.
it's the only way to keep doing serving after a while.
Yeah.
Is because you just quit otherwise.
Well,
Right.
I used to work at Neiman Marcus in the restaurant
did.
downstairs in
Thank God
Beverly
she did.
Hills.
Oh, fuck.
And
Thank God
Vicki,
she did.
Vicki Barbolak would come in her leopard. She'd come and she'd sit down. And then I decided, like, and I had friends that would come in, all these comedian friends and people, and I'd be like, okay, sit down. And then I would just steal champagne. The
Yeah.
I
rest
always
of
thought
the
she was
stuff.
bringing wine that people didn't finish. turns out she was getting me brand new glasses.
Yeah. I'd go to the chefs. I'd talk to the pastry chef, put a little time in.
Amen.
And then she would get like this 5-star treatment because I knew how hard she worked. I knew how hard my friends worked. And I'd
Especially
be
at
like-
Neiman's.
Yeah.
You have a little more levity.
They were good for it, I think.
But I did have this this boss,
Yeah.
James. And
James.
James, he sounded like this. I don't know why he was affected, but he did. And James, God bless James. He liked the sauce a little
Yeah.
bit. And one time, and we all had to wear all black. So I wore
Yes.
black shirt, black pants, black apron. We're covered head to toe in black.
I used
and
to fuck someone who worked at Neiman's restaurant.
Good
so yeah.
for you with bar downstairs.
Bar Verde, right
there
there.
you go.
Bar Verde at the Nordstrom thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I had
Look
like
at Jake's face right now. I wish this was on camera, you guys.
Not
His
a bad
eyes are
dick.
bulging
I was
out.
gonna
baby.
say that now.
I believe you.
Not a
His
bad
eyes
dick.
are bulging to a
I
happy
know,
memory.
I know that restroom. Let's just say that.
Let me
well,
just
I had
say,
like
his face is lit
anytime
up.
this manager like overheard me, and I don't know how he was always kind of like around me. And I remember one day, like I was so busy, and I'm giving the specials, and I've just delivered like 7 specials we had, and the people at the table go, "Well, are you our waiter?" And I go, "Well, I'm not Zorro." And then I didn't know James was behind me, and he pulled me aside. He goes,
That's
"Sean." He goes,
amazing.
"Shauna." First of all, my name's Shawn. I've worked here 5 years, and he goes, "Shauna, you can't tell a customer you're not Zorro." I'm like, I just thought it was a stupid question, and I thought at least it was kind of funny.
I'm not Zorro.
Yeah.
Y'all, we need to find out. What's your podcast? Let's
Yeah,
talk about this
yes,
now.
yes.
We
Well,
beat around the
thanks
bush
so much for
for
asking.
long
we said
enough.
we're going to talk about 10 million
I
other
want to
things
talk
that
about
we didn't, so we'll have you on
Trailer
again.
Park Diaries, which sounds like something that I may have participated in my youth.
You might
but
be in one of our diaries.
I
Look,
might be.
I think that we're having so much fun doing this podcast because we started during COVID when we didn't have anything to do, and so we had this idea. We went to All Things Comedy. Al Madrigal, our friend, and
Al Madrigal. Cool.
yeah, and he
Former
he,
Daily Show correspondent.
Yeah.
and he came up with the idea. He goes, we said we'd like to be in the trailer park base because we it's our thing.
Because you live
Well,
you
she
live
lives
in.
in Beverly Hills, and you can't do a podcast about Beverly
Yeah.
Hills. Anyway, so
No one gives a shit about a
no,
podcast
yeah.
in Beverly Hills.
So Al came out. I like diaries. So I started sourcing all these diaries. I literally went on my social media. Go, does anybody know any diaries? I literally did a thing in my trailer park, in our trailer park newsletter. Does anybody have any diaries? I got some amazing diaries, and so we sourced these diaries, and then we
Real diaries.
real diaries, and then we imagined that
amazing.
Shauna moved into my trailer.
Yeah,
park.
and keep imagining because
Unfortunately, so many of our friends and
She's
her friends
Beverly Hills
thought
Shishi.
that she really did. I'm like, not without a rail car escort would she move
Not
into
with
a
that
trailer
hair.
park.
She's not
No,
going to
she's
a.
not.
the basis of the podcast is basically it's kind of a half scripted.
Sorry, y'all. Don't
Sorry.
pull over. As
Right.
we say on our podcast, don't pull over.
Don't pull over.
Good
That is
idea.
the first don't pull over we've had in so long because we're at Matt's
Because
house
we moved
tonight.
to Jake's house and it's quiet, but he lived on like fucking, we can
La
say it
Brea
now.
and
La
Beverly.
Brea.
Fancy.
You know where that what was that junk store place called?
Nick Metropolis.
Goodwill?
Nick Metropolis, right there. Yeah, right by the Sugarfish on La Brea.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's
anyway, y'all,
right,
don't
right
pull over.
there was so much like ambulances, but now this is the he lives in.
Yeah.
Fancy.
So I'm sorry. Talk the show, the premise of the show. You were saying.
Trailer Park
Oh.
Diaries.
Oh, yeah.
Podcast on all podcast platforms.
Yeah, it basically it's it's a half scripted and improvised.
Half improv, yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes episode to episode because we read through a diary, and we're following along this diary that happens.
So each season is a new diary. So this is our first season. So we have a diary this season, and we read a couple pages each episode, and then we discuss.
She's a teenage girl. This season, the diary that we found.
Yeah, and then we discuss what's we think is going to happen and whatnot, and then we kind of relate our friendship in our lives. Yes,
We speak of things we shouldn't speak of, just
Yeah.
like we've done on
That's
this show.
the best podcast.
Like you guys know, you know.
Yeah.
We don't have an episode that goes beyond that past us that we don't say something we shouldn't say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your family and friends are embarrassed on every week.
Oh, my mother.
Yeah.
Matthew, your show is so funny, but why y'all so nasty?
Why do you just say that?
My brother
Did you
goes,
have to say that?
because my sister-in-law listens, and my brother's like, you told that story? Oh, shit.
Oh,
Oh my
y'all
God.
don't pull over again. That's me.
God
we have to say
damn
don't
it.
pull over because our listeners
Don't
were
pull
listening to our
over.
podcast and they're in their cars and they thought the police or ambulance
Oh, yeah.
and they
Oh,
started
yeah, you guys-
pulling over.
This is totally just LA traffic.
It's just it's
Yeah.
just LA bullshit.
Don't worry.
so
You're
you've
fine.
done how many episodes are in this first season?
We're
There's
at
12.
12, and today we hit. Yeah. Today we hit 7.
Yeah, we were at
Yeah.
episode 7 came out today.
I
but-
listened to 60,000 times, so our numbers are really looking good.
And our next season diary is, I mean, this one is a little bit kind of like adventure, mystery,
Yeah,
place
it's
in
really-
the 1970s, and then the next
fun.
one is a little bit 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
So it does.
Yo,
get,
they have 3 seasons planned out.
No, we
Amazing.
only have 2, but as long as All Things Comedy was stupid enough to give us another second season, but we're
What?
let's also we
Way to throw them under a bus.
Here you go, Vicky. Have some wine.
no, okay, guess what? I hate everything I do. I always have. I never appreciate anything I
that's-
ever do, but I love our show. When I told Shanika this morning, I go, because it drops on Tuesday. Today happens. I don't know when you guys are listening to it, but we're here on a Tuesday night in this bitchin' apartment in LA. And I said, it dropped this morning. I said, Shanika, I was getting on a plane from Las Vegas to come here to do this show. And I said, Shanika, did you hear 7? She said, yes. I said, I really like it. I really like our show. It's very unlike any other podcast because we're reading for this diary. We're talking about it. And week to week, we don't know what's going to happen. And we recorded it so long ago, we forgot what's going to happen. So when I'm listening to it, I'm like, this is fun.
I think it's a really smart but also just immediately we all have had diaries in our life, whether you've kept them forever or whether
Yes.
you've done it for a little bit.
Yes.
And I'm just when you said you're reading people's diaries, I went
And-
because
and
it's
there's
just
an
such
element
a
of, like,
private
in
thing.
some ways.
You're not going to be. You're not. It's like extreme truth, and you're reacting to extreme truth.
Yeah, what's
right
more
in that very
truthful than a
moment.
diary? Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and we feel like such terrible whores for doing it.
You
But-
know what? Welcome to
Welcome to the
Whoreville.
shit show of podcasting.
Well, podcasting is Whoreville. Stop one. Like you're on
Stop
a train.
one.
It's a lot of work. I mean,
Whoreville.
it's a lot of work, especially when there's scripts and there's things involved, and
What are these
figuring out-
scripts you speak of?
Well, but the thing is, what we had to do is
Diaries.
we had
Yeah,
to
there you
source the
go.
diary. We had to, kind of edit the diary because you can't
Yeah.
we couldn't do 300, 400 pages. We had
No.
to edit it, but it was really fun to do. And
Did you record in a studio?
in
Yeah.
All Things Comedy.
Oh,
studio.
You're way more professional
Yeah.
than we are.
We're
recorded-
sitting there,
we recorded
oh my
in
God,
my-
there's all these
in my living
men
room.
balls around and me and Shanika. There's a few other chicks in that room, but not that many.
Wow.
So we're
Not-
having fun.
not a lot
and they're,
of-
they're
not a
going,
lot
don't
of
talk so much.
chicks
We're
in
like,
comedy.
okay, we will. But they've been really wonderful. And it
They
was all
say
Al's
don't
idea.
talk so much.
It was all Al's idea. And they've been more than great. And we're very excited about our,
Well, where
next
can everybody
season.
find you? And all-
Everywhere.
with-
We'll come over and read it to you. Just call us.
Trailer Park
I'll
Diaries.
drive over.
Trailer Park Diaries,
Wherever
season
you
1.
listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Trailer Park
Out now.
Diaries.
What about social media? But now,
Trailer
for sure,
Park
Sean,
Diaries.
do you talk about now? You're always Instagramming 90 Day or TikToking,
Yeah.
or where can people find you on the social medias?
Well, where you cannot find me is Grocery Outlet, but where
Oh, God. You're missing
I'll be
it,
with
honey.
you at Grocery Outlet.
where
Vicky.
you
Jake, we're
can
going
find
together.
me. You can find me on all social media platforms at Shawn Pelofsky
With a
and-
W, SHAW, y'all.
Yes. And you can find me watching 90 Day Fiance with my husband because he's just as involved as I am on the show.
I mean, we've got to have y'all
And you
back.
can
We
also
didn't talk
find
about
Shanika on
PEL
social media
Polish.
meltdowns. Can we talk a little
Oh,
bit about
social media
can we talk a
meltdowns.
moment
I've done
about
that.
social media meltdowns? Shanika came up with this idea a few years ago, and it's taking LA by storm. It's social
It
media.
sure is.
No, it is. It actually is.
Yeah, because it's at the Improv at the Lab.
Hold
bitch.
on.
You're so.
I think
you know.
that's
Hey,
Netflix.
don't tell Shanika. Hey,
hold on.
Shanika. Here's my
No,
favorite thing.
Hulu.
Shanika.
I don't need you.
Here's my favorite thing. Here's my favorite thing.
What?
Here's my favorite
Disney
thing.
Plus?
Shanika.
You want
Oh,
it?
Shanika. Shanika, you look so beautiful. You look so beautiful today.
Shut up, Vicky.
You cannot compliment this woman.
No, I
She'll
know.
throw it back to you, and you know what?
She's Jewish.
She
It's
cannot
not in her
handle a
nature.
compliment.
So I've
Social
heard.
media meltdowns is amazing. It's a fantastic show
Thanks,
that she
Vicki.
created, and everybody
Also,
talks.
One of it's a female ran
It meant-
comedy show.
and it's
I
all
mean, you said Genesis
so-
is you.
everybody's on the show that's
What
in
are we
LA.
talking
All
about?
these comics, everybody wants to be on it.
Did
Everybody,
Vicki do Molly in the bathroom? What happened? What are we talking about now? Social media meltdowns?
Yeah,
talking about social media meltdowns. I want to mention it because it's such a great show.
it is a great
Vicki.
show.
And
It's a fun show. What she's trying to say is I have a show where comedians perform other people's real social media posts and
Yes.
they perform
That's-
it.
Oh, it's
so
really
Okay,
funny.
funny.
Sean, that's
you
genius.
guys should do that show.
Well, I'd like to have them, but they're very busy.
I know, it's hard
I
to
would
get
love
the-
to have.
it's
I
hard
did
to
a
get reality
virtual
games.
one, but I
Yes.
would do it. I think
No,
it'd be
let's
fun.
The one
do
you
it.
read was great.
I'm
Thank
in
you,
for
guys.
it.
That would
I'm
be
in
so
for it.
fun.
I'd love to
That would be
have
very
you.
fun.
Can I do it
You're
the
a
night they do
performer.
it?
Can I-
Are y'all
Can
doing? Go ahead, Poodle.
Can I choose? Can I suggest possibly any Kristen Stewart meltdown that you possibly have?
Anything.
Because
Anything
Brilliant.
you-
she's had like 3 or 4 of them.
I love
and
it.
Is that the improv, right? You
Yeah,
said.
at the lab. Yeah.
Now, are y'all
There's-
doing stand up anytime soon?
We're doing stand up all over the place.
Tomorrow?
I'm going to be in Atlanta this summer, and I'm also doing I'm hosting the AGT live show in Las Vegas at the Luxor off and on. I'm the guest host. So anyway, that is a really good show.
When
by
is
the way.
that?
Well, I'll be there through.
Don't go when she's not there, is what she
No,
said.
But
not-
soon, it's now, right?
I'm there now. I'm there through Friday of next week, and then I get my new dates, and everything is on Vicki Barbolak comedy.
VickiBarbolak.com.
Vicki Babcock.
and you're on Twitter as well.
Yeah, I'm on everything with my name, Vicki Barbolak, but I wish it was Vicki Babcock. It would have been so much easier.
So we need to do this again because we didn't even talk about your real 90-day relationship. We didn't even get to that.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't
Y'all,
talk about.
she's got a big dick Brazilian husband.
And we
Yeah.
were going to talk about, but we'll save it for now. We didn't even talk about the story of you and this story about you and Walmart. There's a lot to talk about, so we'll definitely have
We'd
y'all
love
on.
to come back. Thank you for having us.
Sissies, Trailer Park Diaries.
Trailer
Download
Park
that
Diaries.
wherever you listen
Season
to podcasts.
1.
What a way to start the month of May collabs. This was a good idea, Poodle, and you thought of it.
I'm drunk.
All right,
I
everybody.
think Vicki is too.
I gave Poodle Kate Hudson vodka, and I gave Vicky Butter Chardonnay. So we got to go,
I
y'all.
love you guys. Thank
Anyway,
you so
y'all,
much.
thank you
fellas.
so much for coming. Vicki will be the Luxor, and I'm going to be in the alley behind my apartment tonight.
All right, we'll see you
And
next
Sean
time.
will be wherever
Comedy
there is
store.
gay guys.
Emily,
That is
my daughter Emily. You might have had to live in a trailer for 11 years and have no money, but I got you a moment with reality gaze, little bitch.
We love you, Emily. You're a dick pig, and we love you.
Emily.
Yes.
Bye,
Bye, y'all.
Queens.